This is a machine that was just sent to me by GSA Equipment out of Ohio. They let me borrow it for a few weeks because I said I wanted to play with some mini excavators and see some new products and see how they work out. So I've got this one, which is a Hightop HT15 Pro. Why is it a HT15? Well, HT for Hightop, 15 because it's a 1,500 kilogram machine, which is about 3,300 pounds. So it's a pretty heavy machine. This is a whole lot bigger than your average little 1 ton. So I just did a review on a similar looking machine that I got in an auction. And wow, I'm about to show you the difference between a cheap little auction machine and something like this. This machine actually has some really cool features on it that I'm a big fan of. Some upgrades that you're not going to find on your cheap little auction machines, but I have a secret for you. These are selling for auction machine prices right now. The reason is GSA is kind of overstocked with machines and they don't have enough room for all of their new inventory. So they're trying to blow out a bunch of machines. And at the moment of this filming, this is for sale for just under $8,000. If you mention our channel, if you want to get one, you'll get $200 off. So this may be a good machine for you. Let's review it and you can make your own decision because I'm not going to make that decision for you. So let me show you some of the basic features of this and give you a walk around of what this is. First off, this is powered by a Kubota diesel engine, a Kubota D722. If you want a diesel, this is an entry-level diesel that's going to get the job done for you. Let's jump into this and I'm going to show you some of the details of this and see if this is something that you might want to get for your property. Starting off with the track, they're just a basic mini excavator track design. It's got 2 wheels on the bottom there, a big one in the front, and you've got your drive motor here in the rear. Moving around to the front, you have a dozer blade. Now you notice this dozer blade has these extension bits on it that you can move with these pins. You can flip it in because this has the retractable tracks. So these tracks, you can see here, they actually slide in this far to get it really narrow so you can drive through gates and such. That's a pretty cool feature. Up here on the front, you've got a normal 16-inch bucket. You've got your grease fittings, not on the ends, but the grease fittings are right here. As usual, I don't see grease fittings on the thumb, but it has a pretty substantial sized thumb actually. So there's a positive. You're going to have to be mindful. Oh no, hold on. There's a grease fitting right there. And there's not one on the bottom side that I can see. So do not allow people near machine within use because you can smack them with the boom. Stay away, people. So you can see here, you do have some exposed lines. So you want to be mindful of this line on your cylinder. And these lines up here, which see how they tuck into the boom and they kind of disappear in there. So now they're all enclosed until here and then they pop out for this. But the rest of the lines, they come down right here and they're all tucked away. So you notice that this design, it has the boom in front of the cylinder. So if you do run into something, you're not going to just tear up your cylinder. That's a nice touch. Over on the other side, it's kind of the same view that we just had. Hydraulic oil tank. That's a gas pump. I don't know why they do that, but it actually tells you what kind of hydraulic fluid right on the side you want to use on your machine. So we have a whole bunch of keys here. What we want is this key. And here you have your hydraulic fluid tank and your hydraulic fluid fill. And then here's your diesel fill right here under this little compartment, which is kind of cool. It's got a locking door, but you don't need to lock it. You can just leave it like that. That's probably what I do. I don't leave it in a place. I'm worried about people stealing my diesel fuel. It lets you know here, the diesel oil tank. also a gas pump. Gas pump there, gas pump here. It tells you what kind of diesel oil to use. That's kind of interesting. I've not seen that before. So walking around here, you can look in the side and you can see it has a muffler blanket from the factory. And that's a pretty cool touch. So around here, you need another key. Take the key, open it up, and now you can get inside. See, there's that Kubota, that D722. Which is pretty cool. So it's really crammed in there like most diesels are. You see the exhaust comes out down here through the counterweight, and the counterweight looks pretty solid, like it's actually finished out and painted. It doesn't look like it's very heavy though, because on the inside, I don't know if you can see that, but it's not very thick. So I don't know how much weight that's really gonna add. You've got your radiator over here, which I don't know if you can see through that grate, but you can see here, the machine at the auction I tested, it is not this strong. The mesh is really wimpy. Kind of looks like this, but it's not quite that strong. Another thing I like is your filters. There's your little water separator. You've got a fuel filter right there. They're easily accessible, and you can get to all your fluids right through this engine compartment door. One thing I don't like is that you can't just shut it like that. You actually have to use your key and lock it back up for it to be closed. I wish I didn't have to use a key to do that. So on the rear, you're gonna get crushed if you get in between that and a wall. Don't do it, stay away. Moving on to the rest of the back, you can see this canopy. It's plastic, but it doesn't have sharp edges. So if you wanna throw a cover over it, as I've learned, this smooth cover is actually pretty nice. It has some weird, I don't know, places to screw things in. I don't know what. Maybe a light bar? That would be good. You can put a light bar right there. On to the controls. You can see that the left side control has the lever to flip it up, so that when you get into the seat, you put it down and then it operates. So over on this side, you have two switches. You have the headlight, and then this one, telescopic and bulldozer. So bulldozer is this middle lever, does your dozer blade. If you flick at the telescopic and you move that, that's gonna bring your tracks in or out. Over on this side, you have your pile of keys. And we have our gauges. So it's got this neat little gauge cluster. And it has a bunch of features I haven't dug into yet. It has 0.2 hours on this particular machine. Something I dislike heavily about this machine, I can't stand these flashing little lights. So if this were mine to keep, I would be disconnecting that light. I don't need that. I might connect something else to this, put a switch on this wire, put some other kind of light. I don't know, maybe do some mood lighting in the roof, some yellow light. I don't know, just kidding. So then you've got your two drive sticks, and your drive sticks have pedals attached to them. See that? So those are nice pedals. They're pretty big. Some of the other machines have little tiny ones, but the little auction machine I tried yesterday has no pedals, but it has huge throw. Now this does have a really big throw, but with your seating position, it's not horrible. Now this comes really far back, but it's not as bad with your feet on the controls. So forward, backwards, and I like to use the foot controls. On occasion, when I want to do some fine tuning, I might use hand controls. I don't like how far it comes, but you can move your legs out of the way. So it's not horrendous. And then this pedal over here, this is your thumb. Let me fire this up and show you. So this is your thumb control, which is pretty nice. So these are your drive pedals. Again, pretty nice, or you can use the hand controls. So if you wanted to do the tracks, let me show you that in a sec. So here's your dozer blade. Not super jerky, you know? That's kind of nice. if you wanted to actually control your bucket and boom, you do that with this push down. I do like how smooth it is. Gotta love these Kubota machines. The one I used yesterday wanted to buck you off like a bucking bronco, even at slow speeds. This one you actually can do really slow controls if you so choose. So, what's crazy about this costs about the same price as some of the auction machines. That if you tried to grab the boom, it would be, I can't even make this. Now I can. I was gonna say, I can't make it as jerky as the auction machine. I really can't, honestly. But this is a heavier machine, so it's got a little more heft to it. Getting in and out of it's easy too, only because this flips up. If that didn't flip up, it would be a real pain. Now take a look at these tracks. So what I'm gonna do, put my dozer blade down. I'm gonna spin around. Put my bucket down. I'm gonna hit that telescopic switch. And what that's gonna do is see the tracks? In and then out. So that's as wide as it goes. And now I put it back to bulldozer mode, lower myself back down, and here we go. So I do like that feature. For me personally, I'm probably never gonna put the tracks all the way in. I'm not sliding through little gates and such. So yeah, but it's nice to have the option in case you need to save a little bit of space. I don't know, maybe on a trailer sometime I might want to squeeze it in and shorten that dozer blade down so I can fit onto a trailer with another machine beside it. Let me get you some basic measurements with my little tape. The dozer blade is 46.5 inches wide with the extensions out. The width of this machine without is 38.5 inches wide. So pretty substantial. The tracks, they're 48 inches long, which is fairly typical 4-foot long track. They're about 11 inches tall. So overall height, if you wanted to pull this into a garage, it's pretty darn tall, honestly. You're looking at 7 foot 1 inch. So this isn't going to fit in your standard garage, but it is going to fit in some taller door garages. So that's some good information to know. I have a garage out of my cabin that probably will fit in, just barely scrape the weather strip, but it will not fit in my garage here at the house. You know what? Let's see how good this thing digs a hole. This is probably as good a spot as any in the yard to ruin, right? So when you turn these tracks with the design of them, they tend to tear up the lawn a little bit. Which I'm not so worried about because I'm about to tear it up anyway. Hey, can you do me a favor? Don't tell my fiance I'm out here randomly digging a hole. I don't know if she'd like that so much. Yeah, I would say that this digs pretty well, honestly. I think for digging a hole like this, it might be better to put the blade back behind me, just so I can't take back. But I would say this is so much better than the auction machine I uploaded a video on yesterday. They look very similar, but man, this is so much smoother. So from my little bit of use here, I haven't used a mini excavator in a long time. And I don't know if I've said this. I don't think I've said it in this video. But I am not an operator. I don't do this for a living. I play with these things on my property and I make reviews for you fine folks. And I help you make buying decisions, and I'm always on a quest to find myself a better machine. I haven't used a mini excavator to dig in quite a long time. I didn't want to mess up my yard because I have to mow it all summer, but it's fall time now and the grass isn't really growing so much. So I think I'm probably good for mowing for the year, maybe 1 or 2 more times. So I dug a hole in the yard. But yeah, after using auction machines, this is just a night and day difference. And what's crazy is I see people buy these auction machines. You can buy them on Facebook Marketplace for $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000. And this machine is way, way better than those. And it's selling for under $8,000 right now. So if you're in the market and you want a decent machine, click on the link in the description for GSA, check them out, because this might be a good option for you. I mean, there's cheaper machines out there. There's more expensive machines. There's much better machines than this, but you're gonna pay a whole lot more. I mean, I've got my mini excavator over there. That costs $10,000 more than this. Is it worth 10 grand more than this? Anything with a Kubota for under 10 grand, I think you've got a really strong deal on your hands. So anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you like this kind of stuff, like and subscribe. Thanks for sticking around. Lots more content to come. I've got some projects I'm going to be doing. I plan to do with this coming up soon. I've got a whole bunch of logs to move and tree stuff to do. And I have a new toy that I need a mini excavator to pick up rocks and drop into the top of to make something really cool. That's coming soon. So anyway, thanks for watching. Have yourself a great day. Always enjoy your time in the trees. We'll see you in the next one.